This demonstration is going to show you how to sew a thread loop for the eye. As you can see, what I've already done is I've already sewn on another hook, a metal hook, into my second quadrant on my overlap. Now what we're going to do is we are going to identify the place over on the underlap side for which this the hook will hook into. Now, according to your directions, it says to place, make sure that the edge of your hook is about 1/8 of an inch away from the edge of your folded line. So just make sure that it's placed a little bit more closely to that edge. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to line up my fabric, my overlap with my underlap, matching up those markings. And then what I'm going to do is I'm gently going to kind of fold this edge back for my second quadrant. And I'm going to I'm just going to do a quick mark, and of course this is on the black area of my fabric. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put pins in, maybe about, I want this thread loop to be about 1/2 inch in length. So what I'm doing is I'm placing a pin in right directly, if there was like this imaginary line or this pin coming out of the hook area, I wanted to place it about 1/4 inch above and 1/4 inch below, 1/4 inch below where that imaginary line would pass through. Alright, then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the edge off, or take the overlap edge off, and then make sure that these pins are just lined up. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use my ruler to see where they're lined up at, and I actually need to just move my bottom pin back a little bit because it just wasn't level. So just make sure that you're sewing a completely vertical line here, and so use your best judgment just to make sure that this is completely up and down. And again, you want to make sure that this loop thread eye is about 1/2 inch in, I guess, height, because we're holding our fabric straight up. Now what we want to do is you just want to start, we don't have to worry about coming in from the inside, but start on the very back side and push your needle up through your bottom marking. So if you used a pin and you were able to see that on your fabric, you're going to poke that up through your PEN marking. In my case, it's my PIN marking. And go ahead and secure that knot, so make sure that it's going to be tight on the back here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to poke it down in through my second marking, or my top marking. Alright, now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do this repeated step about 3 times. So I'm just going to go in from the back, then push my needle down on the top side, and I'm just kind of creating this long stitch. And I'm going through all layers of fabric. Okay. Then when I get my third one done, I'm going to come back up closely to where I just came out, and what we're doing is we're going to be doing a blanket stitch, kind of wrapping around this. So I just came out of the top area, and I'm going to, I just went down into the top area, and I'm going to come back out. So what we want to do the blanket stitch, you want to bring your needle from the bottom to the top. Oh man, then it looped around my pin. Bring your needle from the bottom to the top, and then while it's getting close to making that lasso, you want to pick it up and pull your thread through, and then pull your threads to the left, and then you're just going to repeat this all along the distance of this thread. Now make sure that you are going underneath all of your threads to do this. And you're just going to repeat this process along the distance of this threaded loop here. It's going to be a little bit thick, not too bad. I think I might actually run out of thread before too long. So see, I'm creating this lasso underneath, and then I'm pulling it over to the left. And your construction packet does a great job of kind of diagramming exactly how this is supposed to be coming together if you have forgotten how to do the blanket stitch. And just make sure that those kind of blanket stitch knots almost that you're forming are gently lining up against each other. Alright, I'm almost done with mine. And what you'll probably notice that as you sew this is that your thread is a lot thicker than what it was, just as the three long stitches by itself, and that it's a little bit, it's taking a lot more shape, and it's actually becoming a little bit more pulled away from the fabric, so you can easily slide your hook underneath. Now I just got done doing my whole line, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to poke my needle back down into the very end of that initial line that we did, and I'm going to come back on the back side and tie a knot. Oh, and I totally did not slide it down, so my knot is not even anywhere close. I think I might need a pin to help me make sure that everything stays in place close to that fabric edge, and I'm going to go ahead and try to do another one since my first one didn't take. Alright, I'm putting that pin down. Whoa. Putting that pin down in there, then getting that knot fairly tight, and then I can go ahead and trim up those thread tails. It looks like I'm going to have to thread another needle before too long. Alright, now let's just double check, make sure that these line up. I'm going to go ahead and hook my top one first, and then I'm going to go ahead and hook my second one into that thread hook that we made. And I think the thread hook is used, it's a lot more delicate, I would say, and you'd want to use thread color that matches your fabric. But a lot of times you'll see the thread hooks in bridal wear and evening wear. And it's just because it's more delicate. It's usually used with more fine and sheer fabrics that are lightweight, and really you don't want to have that extra bulk and weight of the eye part of a metal hook. So that is your thread loop for your eye, and the next sample is going to be the hook and eye for a skirt hook, and that's going to be in our third quadrant.